This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
The Cairns Taipans have won 3 games in a row without their best player, Keanu Pinder. They are rolling right now and come into Sunday hoops back at home at the Cairns Convention Centre, sitting 3rd on the Hungry Jack's NBL ladder. There's so many good vibes about the way the Taipans are playing this season. They're one of the most watchable teams in the competition, and one thing they are is very, very good on their home floor. Meanwhile, for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, injuries and form once again playing a role at the back half of the season in the negative for them. They get Ryan Brockhoff back into the team today, but it's that man, MVP candidate Mitch Creek, that stands in the Taipans' way.
Williams, the offensive rebound, back to Creek. Wow.
The leading scorer in the game is Creek. Racing up Creek with another 2.
Wow.
What a run he's on, Mitch Creek.
Oh, beautiful.
Creek, the runner goes.
To Wolf, Creek.
He's ahead of the pack, finishes with authority.
Clock at 10, Creek pulls up. Bang! 44 for Mitch Creek. He's enjoying a phenomenal season, no question about that. Welcome to Sunday Hoops. Great to have your company, Jack Heverin, alongside the Professor Pete Hooley and the GOAT, Andrew Gaze. This is going to be a fascinating game. We've got 3rd versus 5th on the table. One team trying to get into the top 2, and the other just trying to hang on to their spot in the finals right now.
Well, it is, and we just saw Keanu Pinder. He was close. They had a fitness test yesterday that he's not up for just yet, so unfortunately, he will not be out there for the Cairns Taipans, but they've had other players step up, and that's the best part about this team. They're young, but the culture that they've built together under Adam Ford has been tremendous, and they're getting the job done by committee.
Here's the Phoenix. They are 12 wins and 10 losses for the season, but they've lost their last 3. Unfortunately, it was a problem for them last year with injuries, and it's hitting them again today. No Gary Brown and no Trey Cal. Meanwhile, for the Taipans, in the absence of Keanu Pinder, Drewy, they've been able to find some big-time roles and some big-time minutes from Tajir McCall, DJ Hogue, and Sam Wardenberg in particular.
Oh, they have, and there you see the numbers, and you know, everyone thought that it was all going to be doom and gloom when Keanu Pinder was injured, but you look at the numbers of these 2 in particular, they've stepped up in the points, the rebounds, the assists, right across the board, and Wardenberg, who had that concussion, but have a look at his last 3 games. He's the one that's really rose to the occasion, getting a few more touches, both with his shots and also the way in which that he can rebound the ball. But the biggest thing in this one too is when you look at the last game of the Phoenix, yes, they've got some injuries, as all teams have had to deal with. There's Wardenberg going upstairs, and Hogue, we know he can shoot it, but the last outing, the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix gave up 118 points to, now admittedly it was to the top team in the competition, the Sydney Kings, but I don't care who you have on the floor, if you're going to give up 118, you're not going to win too many games.
There's Sam Wardenberg, 23 years of age, out of Auckland, New Zealand, his first season in the NBL, and he looks comfortable now. Meanwhile, for the Phoenix, there's coach Simon Mitchell. The reality for them, Pete Hooley, is there are 5 games left in their season after this.
Every game's so important. You talk about how unlucky they've been with injuries, there's no doubt about that, but this is their run home. The Brisbane Bullets, we know how they've been going. Tasmania, who are also fighting to hold on to their play-in tournament spot. Perth want to get to that play-in tournament spot, and then Cairns once again. And tell you what, every game we know is so important, and without some key players, they just need everybody else to step up and try and get as many wins as they can until they get back to full health.
Well, the bleach is back for Mitch Creek. It worked for him at the start of the season. Whatever he's doing is working, whether it's on the court, his fitness work, off the court, whatever. His numbers are extreme, and the battle with Xavier Cooks was fascinating on Wednesday night.
It certainly was, and they're the 2 candidates that most people have as the favourites for the MVP. And you can see why when it comes to Creek. Now, as far as the awards are concerned, it's going to be tough when you're up against someone from the Sydney Kings just because of the win-loss record. But for me, Mitch Creek is having his best season yet. He's doing it in so many different ways. He's leading the team through adversity with the injuries. And if I was voting right now, he would slightly be ahead in my rankings as opposed to Xavier Cooks. But that's not discrediting Xavier Cooks in any way, shape or form.
We're just about to get things underway at the Cairns Convention Centre. Let's get courtside for the first time this afternoon and welcome in the former captain of Australia, Jenna O'Hea. Good afternoon, Jenna.
Good afternoon. Just a quick injury update here on the ground. Spoke to many Taipans, players, staff, medical staff, and they were very tight-lipped with what was going on with Keanu Pinder. Finally got on to CEO Mark Beercroft, who said he was on court this morning but didn't pull up very well. He'll have another test on Tuesday and see how load goes on that ankle, and hoping to be back for next game. Down the other end for Phoenix, Simon Mitchell said that Trey Cal did attempt to train yesterday and lasted about 20 seconds, so that was a big no, and they're looking forward to getting back to Melbourne and seeing how Gary Brown and that calf are progressing. So should be a great game. Another wonderful crowd in here tonight, ready to get this show on the road.
Oh, nice start from you, Jenna O'Hea, former captain of the Australian Opals. Here's the champions, starting 5 for the Cairns Taipans.
Well, without Keanu Pinder, they have been undersized in terms of Sam Wardenberg playing at the 5 and DJ Hogue slotting down to the power forward spot. But they have weapons galore and they're not afraid to share the load.
Meanwhile, for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, more starting minutes with thanks to champion for Junior Madut and Kyle Adnam in the absence of Callum Brown.
And that's right. And these moments here, and I know he's had some injuries as well, but Ryan Brockhoff is the one for me that really needs to step up, and they need to perhaps design a few things for him to get him going to try and deal with the scoring loss that they've had with those guys injured.
As Jenna said, a big crowd in once again Sunday afternoon in far north Queensland. Fans are voting with their feet right across the league. We just saw a sellout at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre, and we weren't far off for this one as well.
Oh, it's terrific to see, and I'll tell you what, it's going to be fascinating to see how the Phoenix first couple of offensive possessions go. That game against Brisbane, the very first play, they established Aaron Baines basically on top of the charge circle against Wardenberg. He got an easy layup. Then they went away from it. As Jim McCall's going to go to the free throw line early in this one.
Well, what they've done, and you look at this, and Coach Adam Ford has said, well, we're going to test Junior Madut out. Let's just see what he's got on the defensive end. Put McCall in the box. You can see he's got a lot of herky-jerky, shake and bake about him down low. Draws the foul. And I think if I'm Junior Madut, straight away, I'm doing whatever I can to not let him catch it. And certainly don't let him catch it there. Keep it out of his hands. Now, Junior Madut has got the athleticism, can defend, but looks like they're going to test him.
Well, the scouting report for the Jim McCall would be, firstly, you want to take a couple of steps off if he does catch the ball on the three, but when he's that low, he's going to spin. When he gets downhill or even starts in the post, he loves to get to a spin on either shoulder really quickly and rise up.
It's Kyle Adnam. Foul. Early bucket for the Phoenix captain. The last 4 games with no Gary Brown, he's getting a lot more opportunity. He's averaging 14.5 points a game at 55%.
Well, it was great in that loss against the Sydney Kings.
There it is. And you know, this is not a lot of contact there, but Kyle Adnam with an early chance for a 4-point play. And I mentioned this the other night. He misses one for a reliable free throw shooter. You almost got to change the way in which you coach and teach how to close out these days. You've got to run by or give them a bit more space as they play bully ball. And this time it's Shannon Scott, I believe, just...
I think we're seeing a pattern emerge here.
Powering it, taking it to Kyle Adnam, and no doubt about the foul there. He tries to claim that it was on the floor, but just wrapped him around the neck.
4 points, Shannon Scott, on Thursday, I should say, against Brisbane. But the 2 prior, Peter, had 31 and 18.
Oh, he's been enormous. And again, he always seems to step up when they're missing a key player. And I thought maybe they would try and go to Mitch Creek or Alan Williams against Wardenberg and Hogue. And right now, they just, anytime either would do it, Kyle Adnam, they just put the both in the post.
Williams couldn't finish from underneath. DJ Hogue did enough defensively. Phoenix get the ball back. Teams played in round 2. On that particular occasion, Cairns won 85-76. It was a home game for the Phoenix. Williams has a hard landing.
Well, Scott trying to come in to help out. Ran into his space, and Williams falls over and gets the whistle. There's Keanu Pinder on the sideline. What a season he's had. I'll be honest, I'm a little surprised how well they've played without him. That
missed the last 3 with an ankle issue.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they probably look at the schedule and had games against Illawarra and Brisbane. bottom teams on the ladder, so that's definitely helped.
Mitch Creek shooting the three with all sorts of confidence. 36% across the season. That's his first points of the afternoon. Wardenberg. Nice take. Draws an early one on Williams.
Sam Wardenberg's going to have the advantage. Just have a look. A replay here. Mitch Creek just steps in stride, knocks it down. You mentioned stroking it from outside and got a nice little haircut.
Bit of a routine afterwards as well. The kiss of the lip and then the slap on the back of the neck. Not sure what it's all about, but might be paying tribute to someone. Or
did you ever bleach the hair back in the day?
Mine was naturally bleached with just the streaks of the grey sort of coming through. Wasn't a popular look back then and still isn't, but not a lot I could do about it. I suppose I could have wrapped the little peroxide in the hair. It's about 23, 24, I think, from memory. Was it started to grey up and chip?
There's Williams.
That's 2 fouls.
Himself on the line.
2 fouls for ball qual. So that's going to be a quick substitution. Now, he was terrific in the opening minutes against the Bullets. Joey Antonio, we didn't see him barely at all. Against Brisbane.
We had one of the quickest foul outs about a month ago, was it, against Sydney or so? I can't remember off the top of it. So he has been a little foul prone from time to time. Actually, it might have been early on against Phoenix or Melbourne, but
well, I think I still Cam Toby's record is still safe.
Every time you bring it up, we'll be watching somewhere.
I forget. I think it's 3 minutes and 24 seconds.
Yeah, I think you've mentioned it about 9 times this season.
It's incredible.
He's going to find you.
He will. Terrific play.
Phoenix lead by 2. Joey Antonio, the quickest release in the competition, but that didn't draw iron.
To me, the young fella's coming in there and that's his role, but he's been in the game literally 12 seconds, and to come off and take a tough shot like that to me is a bad shot.
And a beautiful pass for Creek. It's been an organised start from Southeast Melbourne. As you can see, bottom part of your screen, they've lost their last 3. They are under pressure in a big way today as Wardenberg releases a bit of pressure for Cairns.
It's had a really good season. And Wardenberg, that's the pressure. That's what the Taipans can do. They're not running traps, they're just trying to get up and in and force you to have to make those mistakes.
They would have looked at the game against the Jack Jumpers last week where it was the full court extended pressure by the Jack Jumpers causing turnover after turnover in the back court, and again, not dealing well with the up-court pressure. Good block. That time by Creek.
Junior Madut wide open. Williams, big-time rebound and 1.
And that is where they'll have an advantage all night.
Points are good. Orange
Cairns
22.
Taipans undersized. They do like to switch a lot of things. Here's the block from Mitch Creek. Comes across well timed. And right here to Jim McCall. He's got a body, but you got to do your work early. And somehow got to try and get into the legs of Alan Williams, get him outside of the key.
His numbers last time they played. Alan Williams had 14 and 10 on Wednesday and he lost to Sydney. Jumped out to a 4-point lead early on. Tough place to win, the Cairns Convention Centre. Locals make a lot of noise for their home team. Hogue with a hand in the face.
Now, Williams has got to know what Hogue wants to do. And that time there just allowed him to casually step into a relatively easy 3-ball. That's his bread and butter.
Block off his first points of the afternoon.
Good patient shot. Mitch Creek, that's just reading to Jim McCall. Slid in front, took the charge. So that's going to be his second foul as well.
Ooh, looks like he might have worn one in the jaw as well.
He didn't have to come back to the right hand. Probably had him beat if he continues to go towards the left, but they know each other very well. Mitch Creek and Jim McCall, so much so that I believe Jim McCall either has got a booking or has been to Melbourne for a tattoo recommendation from Mitch Creek. Is that right? Mitch Creek set him up, so just in case you weren't aware, Mitch Creek doesn't mind the occasional tattoo.
Just look at his legs. And his right forearm as well. Short on the floater. Williams, so big and so strong. Adam Ford wants to have a chat about things. They're going to have a tough afternoon stopping this man.
That's twice now that they've been rewarded with the second shot with Williams down low. He's 2 of 3 from the field.
The 16-11 Simon Mitchell would be pretty happy with what he's seen so far. He caught up with Jenna O'Hay pre-game and spoke about the importance of what's coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I guess our destiny's in our hands. Obviously, a few guys to come back. It's good to have Ryan back in the team, and hopefully we can get a few more minutes out of him tonight. We're looking forward to Trey and Gary getting back probably for the next game against Brisbane. But yeah, no, tonight is a really big one. Destiny's in our hands. We go out, take care of our business, we'll be okay.
And quite a tough run home.
Yeah, I think it's a tough run for everybody. You know, the intensity has gone up a notch. Everyone needs to be at their best. So yeah, it's a tough run, but we're looking forward to tonight's game.
Well, I guess there's no such thing as an easy game here in the Hungry Jacks NBL, but Southeast Melbourne have got Brisbane next Monday. So after today, they've got a good break. They have played quite a few games in a short space of time, so good chance for them to freshen up before Monday's game.
Yeah, they're going to be desperate just to have that break to get the likes of Gary Brown and Trey Kell as healthy as possible. Tassie's going to be awfully tough in Tassie. We know that. Perth, what they're fighting for, and then Cairns again. And tell you what you don't want to do is have it come down to that last game against the Kings, because they look like they're rolling right now. And you also want to make sure you're healthy as soon as possible. If you get everybody finally healthy on that last game and expect to play your best by finals, it's just not going to happen.
Gary Brown has missed the last 4 games with a calf issue. Trey Kell missed the last couple with a knee injury. McCall gets that to drop. He stays out there with a couple of fouls. 16-13 at the Cairns Convention Centre. Earlier today, the Adelaide 36ers went down by 2 to the New Zealand Breakers on Sunday Hoops. Great D from Wardenberg.
So that's one there for Alan Williams. They're trying to establish him down low because we saw what he did before the timeout. When that ball gets fumbled and he has to catch it on the three-point line, I like to see him throw it back out to a guard, relocate and try and seal, because if he catches it anywhere towards the key, no one can stop him. He's just too big and strong.
Oh, yeah, they read it well, and that's the extra passing. There was some decent looks to some good three-point shooters, but they pass on good shots to come up with great ones, and Kyle Adnam with his second trifecta for the afternoon.
Pushes the Phoenix back to a 4-point lead.
The players, they know they're going to get an extended opportunity. Well, nothing more. That is Kyle Adnam.
High block by Williams. He's having a big say at both ends of the floor. This opening quarter. Got rid of Ben Eyre and then feeds Mitch Creek.
Well, we might be getting a flop warning, but I'll tell you what.
I think that's a charge.
I think you're right.
Went straight through him.
We'll get another look, hopefully, because that was... Here's that block first from Williams. That's just great timing.
Flop warning.
Look
Flop
here.
warning on that last play down there.
See, that's stiff.
Flop warning. They'd have a flop warning for that Ben Eyre play.
He's gone a metre past him from where he was standing. Williams.
Oh,
and somehow or other he got a flop warning.
The safe thing to say, I believe, there's been a lot more exaggerated charge attempts than that one.
Williams sits down. Officials today, Vaughan Maybury, Ruben Woolcock and Mark Mill. Williams with 6 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists and a block. Paul pulls up. Very quickly, he's got himself to 8 points and is the leading scorer in the game.
That was a tough shot. Went into that mid-range, really Strongly contested. Good touch.
Hogue almost came up with it. And Creek calls for the pick. Draws a foul.
So this is a really smart play from Mitch Creek. So instead of having the isolation of DJ Hogue, you wanted to get the screen from Dane Pinot to get the youngster Josh Davey to have to switch late in the shot clock, and then he knew he had the advantage. He wants that matchup rather than trying to go against DJ Hogue, who has been elite in terms of perimeter defense this year. Blocks as well, but he gets his hands on a lot.
He does a lot of things right, Mitch Creek, on the court. He's second in the competition for free throw attempts. And you see Coach Adam Ford back today for the Taipans, which is great to see. Didn't coach the team on Thursday in their win over Brisbane. Kerry Williams took control of things. Kerry Williams 1-0 as a coach in the NBL.
He had a big win. Could be flat.
Hogue hemmed in under the basket. Nice D from Pinot. And Creek all the way. He gets it to go as well. He's got 10 in the opening quarter.
It is been super efficient. Again, another good play. Really puts the onus on the defense, and with that strength, he can go up in traffic. It's hard to stop without fouling. 4 of 5 from the field.
8-2 run that the Phoenix are enjoying right now. 3.5 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. Sunday hoops here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Pinot. Opportunity in the first quarter. I've seen a lot of him in recent weeks. Back for most of the season. Creek forces it up over the top of McCall. Win at the defensive end for the Taipans. Hogue wide open. You know what happens next.
You can't lose him in transition. Phoenix were trying to get back and couldn't figure out who was matched up with who. Hogue stepped into a 3-ball.
33% shooter across the season. Creek for a couple more. Nice find from Brockhoff as well. This team's trading baskets. Not that time for Hogue, though.
24, please. Subs, come in.
He'll sit down. 6 points in this opening quarter.
Well, they've been able to get it done on the offensive end. The Phoenix. 10 of 15, 3 of 4 from the three-point line. 66%, and some really good looks, too. That's the nice balance between the attack on the rim and the way in which they're getting players into their right spots to make those penetrating drives.
Brockhoff pulls the trigger. Lat Mayen. Juk Deng into the game for Cairns. So on Foxwell, Grant Anticevich for the Phoenix. So Ruben Tarangi out there for his first minutes. Anticevich, he's a shooter. Buries it.
Doesn't need any time to warm up.
No hesitation. No hesitation whatsoever.
Shoots the 3-ball. It's slightly under 50% this season. Phoenix happy to invite McCall to take that.
Oh, that's just a great closeout. What an outlet. Brockhoff was the one. You're going to tempt Tajima McCall to shoot the 3. That's exactly how you do it. And then he took off.
Lat Mayen can't score. An 11-point lead for the Phoenix. Game high right now. Adam Ford choosing not to use a timeout. Ruben Tarangi into the lane for 2 more.
Well, it's something that Ford's done all season long in terms of not calling a timeout when things are going against you, and it's a bit of his philosophy. He says it's more of a bailout. He thinks he likes to just try and tell the team to ramp it up and kind of get out of it yourself. But their last 3 offensive possessions have not looked good at all, and the Phoenix are making them pay on the other end.
That's Tarongi throws that one out of bounds.
Well, that's right. They've got their problems on the defensive end, as you'd expect, giving up 33 points already in the quarter. But a lot of it has been caused by some of their decisions on the offensive end. It's
A lot of fucking hand contact.
yeah, maybe a bit of that as well, but there's also just the quick shots by the Cairns Taipans. It's like they're coming out here and wanting it to make a track meet, getting up and down as quick as they can.
17-5 run right now for the Phoenix. Shannon Scott back in to try and give a little leadership to finish off the quarter. That's a nice pass for Majuk Dang. That's better.
They wanted to get a 2-for-1. That was the instruction from Adam Ford before the inbounds. That's why they went that quick.
Not going to have a lot of time. About 5 seconds, 5 or 6 seconds.
Here's Creek. Will be free throws for Southeast Melbourne. Hands over the limit.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty good call. That's what happens. You get so worried about Mitch Creek with that little pick and roll game with Ryan Brockhoff that you try and wrap him up as you're trying to get around to fight over if you're Mirko Jeric. But you've got to be a little smarter when you're in the bonus. Mitch Creek's already got 12 points.
79% free throw shooter. And thanks to Reebok, you can win your chance for the trip of a lifetime to the US. You can meet Shaquille O'Neal, flights, accommodation, spending money, it's all looked after. You can enter via the QR code or, of course, on the NBL website.
Done a lot of this too with their other main go-to guy, Alan Williams, spending a bit of time on the bench as well. Creek, they get him out to give him a little bit more of an extended rest.
10 seconds for Cairns. Down double figures in the opening quarter. You're going to have to go the long way around the mountain. Mirko Jeric drew a foul from Anticevic. With 0.5 of a second, maybe a fraction more left on the clock.
In those situations, you just have to be as disciplined as possible. Just try and stay down, keep your feet, and just wall up and contest. So you lose the position there, and then that side contest. Just hang a foul across the arm. You ignore the extracurricular from below the waist.
Still two.
This is first two.
And statistically, hasn't had a lot this season, but 78% from the field this season on short numbers.
He takes care of the third. Dream start for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. They put 35 on the board in the opening quarter, and they lead this game by 11. You're watching Sunday Hoops in the Hungry Jacks NBL. You're watching Sunday Hoops. If you're the visiting team, coming to Cairns and winning is not an easy thing to do, but so far so good for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. They lead 35-24 off the back of 14 points from Mitch Creek.
Well, offensively, the Cairns Taipans wouldn't be overly disappointed. They're shooting at 47%, 4 of 6 from the threes, but it's what's happened down the other end where they've been annihilated. 68%, 13 of 19, 4 of 6 from the three-point line for the Phoenix, and they've been smashed on the boards. Phoenix leading that category 12-3. Not one offensive board for the Taipans.
And that's exactly where it highlights them missing Keanu Pinder, but they've also got 8 assists, the Phoenix. The ball's moving. You saw that couple of passes in the highlights. Extra pass.
Williams all alone underneath.
Just like that. A complete defensive breakdown. They run a little pin down, and they both go out to the perimeter and leave Williams wide open.
And misses everything. Creek, another dominant first quarter from him. Ball fell back into his hands, and then foul on Mirko Jeric. Late whistle.
And the pass out by Creek. Hit him on the arm, caused the errant pass, so the officials forced to call that one.
Well, you mentioned it, Jory. They're getting smashed in all statistical categories. 5 offensive rebounds to the Phoenix to 0. The assists, 3 blocks from Southeast Melbourne as well.
Williams makes that floater, jumps out. Still shooting at a high percentage, Southeast Melbourne, 63%. The Juk Deng's second triple of the game.
Gee, they're not gun shy, are they? The Cairns Taipans, they're just prepared to come down and first available opportunity, let it fly.
Nice take from Adnam. It's a very different, very aggressive way that Cairns approach their offense, Pete. When they played Brisbane on Thursday night and they smashed Brisbane by 26, they scored 59 points in the first 12 seconds of the shot clock.
That's the way they've been designed to play all season long. And Adam Ford's basically saying when they're at their best, they're going to win a lot of games and they're going to win them comfortably. If they happen to struggle to shoot the ball or score the ball, they're probably going to struggle, but he banks more often than not positive things are going to happen, which is why in this playing tournament, where unless you finish second, third and fourth, when you're facing an elimination game, they're a team you don't want to play. So if they do catch fire, it's going to be tough to get over the top.
And I suppose the question at the start of the season was, is that style sustainable? I think it's fair to say they've shown it is.
Well, I think it is with the group that he's got. Not every team would be able to do that in the league. He's got a group of young guys who want to play really fast and play with a lot of energy. But it's right now where you're missing Keanu Pinder, who likes to get on the glass, especially on the offensive glass, to maybe create an extra shot or two when you do take those quick threes.
1-0, hands.
38-27, let's get courtside to Jenna O'Hay.
Yeah, guys, I was in the Taipans huddle at quarter time, and it was a very player-driven huddle, like always with the Taipans. It was just all about guarding that pick and roll that the Phoenix are just dominating at. At the moment, they're keeping it just to the 2-man game. They want to defend with the 2 guys who are on the ball in the pick and roll, but if things change, Morty said he'll decide to change it up and go to a 5-man switch.
Nicely done, Jenna. And nicely done by Shannon Scott off the inbound. Gets it back to single figures.
And that's the ones if you're the Phoenix, so they're going to try and go to Alan Williams, which why wouldn't you when he's got the size mismatch, but he doesn't need to take that shot. He can get that at any moment.
This is just putting relentless pressure on the defensive transition of the Phoenix.
Creek, unstoppable, has 16.
Like I said, Taipans be happy with just the numbers of their offense as far as their shooting is concerned. Goodness, is this the Loyola Marymount Paul Westhead coached team? This is quite extraordinary.
Everyone's getting a lick of the ice cream.
Well, they are, and they're 50% from the field, 5 of 9 from 3, so not so well from the free throw line, only 4 of 8, but
That was called around Williams. Get too overzealous on the offensive rebound attempt. Call for the shove. And he's going to take a quick seat. Second foul.
Orange as well.
Nine-point lead of the Phoenix. 12 wins and 10 losses for the season. We spoke about it off the top after today. Only 5 games left. Kyle Adnam. A few issues getting up.
He's in a bad way here. Kyle Adnam.
Me too. Big Paul just takes advantage of it and just tried to change direction. Have a look at Kyle Adnam there, number 4. Just pushes up. Ooh, that doesn't look good, does it?
Well, he said he was okay, mate, afterwards.
Like, it wasn't like it was the offense really doing anything.
Well, Sam Woudenberg just slowly went to his shot pocket, which just happens to be higher than most players in the NBL. And Kyle Adnam went down and wasn't moving too well at all. We get a timeout here.
It's absolutely the last thing the Phoenix need. They are already without Gary Brown with a calf injury and Trey Kell with a knee injury. They're down on soldiers, and we shouldn't forget Joe Chi back in China at the moment, but they do have one of the competition's very best, Mitch Creek, and he started well again today. 16 points on 6 of 10 from the field.
It is. He's come out really aggressive, knocked down his first 3-ball, and they've just got things going. And with the tempo of this play really fits into the way in which Mitch Creek can play. He can get up and down the floor. He's so smart on the offensive end, find the open spot, any sort of help. He gets in the right positions, and he's been really efficient. There you see what we're talking about in transition. Pick and roll, no problem. And it's just been a relatively easy one for Mitch Creek with those 16 points. He's already had 10 field goal attempts, like you mentioned, 6 of 10 from the field. But he hasn't really taken a bad shot in those 10 field goal attempts.
I'll let him forward. You're thinking right now, there's 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. He's already got 16, and as you said, Drury, it's been a very easy 16. Put up 46 a few weeks ago.
Qual with the extra. 14 against Brisbane in their big win, but 12 of them came in the first half. Started like a house on fire, and then we didn't really see him after.
Well, he loves playing the boards. I think that's why. I think they had a lot of success scoring the ball against Brisbane.
7 minutes before half-time.
You see how quickly we turn around when you're playing at this pace. It's a good job to cut it back to 6. In a very short period of time, the Cairns Taipans.
D from Wardenberg. Adnam threw it up there and got the lucky bounce.
It's just a pancake. Just flopped on the top.
Of the rim.
We'll take it at 9 points now for Kyle Adnam. Looks like he's shaking off that little bit of a knee concern.
Scott. Cross court for McCall. Rockoff dared him to shoot, and he hurts them.
Well, he did dare him, and we know he has his struggles from the 3, but with the shot clock winding down, there was only a couple of seconds left. He does shoot just 20% for 3. That's where you can afford to just get a little bit of a hand up. That's the only thing you can do with that time on the clock.
Rockoff, his turn at the other end. Hogue takes care of the rebound. The Taipans are charging back. They're within 5. And Hogue, splash!
Well, you know what they're doing, and it's, like I said, puts a lot of pressure on your defensive trans, but you've got to close out. Get onto those 3 balls really early because they're white hot at the moment.
9-2 run for the Taipans. Foxwell throws one up. Cairns can tie it up or take the lead off this possession.
Oh, boy.
42 apiece.
I think it's got to be a timeout. Not going to happen. Simon Mitchell taking a leaf out of Adam Ford's book, letting them play.
Phoenix had this out to a 13-point lead to start the second quarter. You can see the breakdown.
Oh, my.
Ackham from the logo. Foxwell, right place, right time. Great look for Brockhoff. It doesn't stick either. The Phoenix 4 of 10 from outside. Hogue with the size advantage. To first to McCall, and he's so good at doing that, getting downhill and drawing a foul.
Just a lot of standing around. We have a look at the Amy replay here. That's the one Hulls was talking about. Only a second or two left on the shot clock. Really had no choice. And there's Hogue. And with that size, 6'8", 6'9", Foxwell closing out. No match. Was never going to be a real threat with that size difference. And the possession before this, when there was the O boards and the scrambling, a lot of standing around. There wasn't that scrambling desperation by the Phoenix that you'd like to see when your season's starting to become on the line.
Since the opening bucket, there's Keanu Pinder not playing today of the second quarter. Cairns have gone on a 25 run since the opening score of the second quarter.
And they haven't changed their way they're going to play at all. They're going to play fast, and they did that in the first quarter. Weren't knocking down shots, taking, well, it really is some poor shots. And now they're starting to knock them down, and they're back in the game.
You guys will let 3 travels go up the other end.
Time out! Time out, Cairns!
The first chance you get, you blow it.
Adam Ford calls a timeout, an interesting timeout too, with his team all the momentum right now.
Well, you're probably calling this more just to give them a little bit of rest as much as it is strategic, because it's been an up and down period, and they're playing it at such a high level, and what they've got to do to maintain it on the defensive end, just to get a little bit of a spell.
Cairns third on the ladder coming into today, 13 wins and 7 losses. Here's what it looks like on the way home for them. As we mentioned earlier, no such thing as an easy game in this competition, but a win today will take them a game and a half off top spot.
Who would have thought, when we're coming into this season, the Cairns Taipans would be a serious threat for finishing those top 2 spots. And like you mentioned, there's no easy run home, and that is not an easy run. They've still got some significant work to do to give themselves a chance at securing a top 2 spot. They need one of the top 2 to drop a few along the way.
Well, they play one of them next week. They go to New Zealand next Sunday, which will be a really, really interesting game. Still a long way to go in this one. Cairns have clawed their way back, and with thanks to Latrobe Financial, you can help yourself to $50,000. Enter now at nbl.com.au/legends. What's changed for the Phoenix? For the Taipans. What's been better in this second quarter?
Well, they made shots. Well, you mentioned the game style, the game plan doesn't change in terms of how fast they want to play. There's been a few breakdowns defensively from the Phoenix that I'm sure Simon Mitchell wouldn't be too happy with, but this is just the way they're going to play. They've got a good look early on. You mentioned that incredible stat in terms of how quickly they like to go. It's going to be a travel foul there onto Jim McCall. And it's basically when the scoreboard stops ticking over for the Phoenix. If you start to turn the ball over a little bit or take some ill-advised shots yourself and let them get out in transition, they're a really tough team to stop. Because you see DJ Hogue steps into 3 balls. They like to get a quick pass or drive to set somebody else up.
Moving screen, I think it is. I know it's Kyle Adnam just pushing off. They're running a little pin down for Kyle Adnam, and he just pushed off. And I think you're right, Hulls. I also think that really, you might say that Cairns Taipans have picked up their defense a little bit, but I think it's more just the fact that those shots that were dropping early for the Phoenix are no longer dropping.
Here we go.
Alan Williams and Mitch Creek on the bench right now.
It's a juggling act.
Players, this is a big opportunity for the Taipans.
It's one of those games that's going to be a juggling act for the coaching staff to try and figure out with Alan Williams and Shannon Scott. That is just a straight line drive downhill. He comes up a little ginger as well. But you had the success with Alan Williams out there in the mismatch. But down the other end, they tried to go at him a little bit.
Simon Mitchell with a behaviour warning, so both coaches have one of those now. Defensive rebound by Pinot. Reset, it's a 22-5 run now for the Taipans since the first score of the quarter. And that is tough.
does that so well, coming off that screen and crossing back over to the middle. And we'll talk about how quick is that.
Rebound out for Qual. He swings to Shannon Scott. McCall kept it alive. Scott, second time, much better results.
Didn't move for 3.5 weeks, Shannon Scott. Didn't have to.
49-44 at the Cairns Convention Centre. The Taipans have come from 13 down to lead this game by 5. Mitch Creek at the scorer's table, about to check back in.
Cole Adam. He's going to work.
He's going to play.
14 points, 5 and 6 from the field. But until such a time you can solve the problem down this end, 52 points already for the Cairns Taipans. They have been on fire. They only had 24 in the entire first quarter. They've already got 25 up now.
Got 28 off that three from home.
28. My bad.
There's been that many of them. Third Taipans foul of the quarter.
Time, come in, Mitch.
That foul lets Mitch Creek get back into the game.
Thanks, Paul.
It really is elite shooting. 9 of 16 from the three-point line for the Cairns Taipans. That is...
Time, come in.
That's really tough. I mean, Phoenix will be looking at their offense going, hang on, we're shooting at almost 55%, 45 from threes. We've got almost 50, we've got 47 ourselves. But just no answer down the other end. And Cole Adam checks out of the game.
He's got 14 points on 5 of 6 from the field, the skipper. Less than 2 minutes remaining in the half. Pinot rolls to the cup, no good. And a foul as well. Cairns will walk to the other end to shoot free throws.
He just rushed it, Dane. That's perceived more pressure rather than actual pressure. Just tried to go up too quickly, had plenty of time and just overcooked it. Dane Pinot not in the game for his offense. It's more what he can do on the defensive end. Anything you get from him on the offensive end is a bonus. Got a couple of rebounds to his credit in the 10 minutes that he's played.
I've seen Alan Williams for 8 minutes. He had 8 points, 2 offensive rebounds. That's why I mentioned it. It's that the chess game of we do have.
He's only got 2 fouls. He hasn't got 3.
Well, I think it's more. It's the advantage they have at the time, and then down the other end, Sam Wardenberg was trying to take him off the dribble. I'm with you. I think they look really good with him out there. And they're getting those second efforts, 7 offensive rebounds. He had 2 himself. He probably forced another couple just based on how many guys had to try and box him out. He's going to be bigger than anybody else on the floor.
This is the Taipans' biggest lead of the game. He played back through Creek, and why not? That's 18 points now for Mitch Creek.
It is, but if you're looking for style of play with both these teams helter-skelter, just ready to throw it up and really quick offense. Right now, the Cairns Taipans look a little bit better at that. So Phoenix maybe need to think about taking the wind out of the ball a little bit, play a little bit more hardcore ball.
Well, he's hurt here, Paul Cole. I know he had that little injury scare in Brisbane, and he came up.
Just see him there in the bottom part of the screen. It's a big ginger on his right knee. Creek faces up on Majukdeng. Now wants to back him in with the right hand. Not that time though. Cairns up the floor quickly. Hogue misses the layup. One end to the other at the Cairns Convention Centre. It's been a hectic first half. Shot clock down to 5. It'll have to be Ruben Tarangi. It's not necessarily what the Phoenix were looking for. Plenty of time here for Cairns. McCall at half-time, got it! An incredible quarter from the Cairns Taipans. 7 on the board at the half.
And the key for them is that they've been able to hold the Phoenix to only 14 in that quarter. So at both ends of the floor, getting the job done and shooting the lights out. That was another example of what you're talking about before. Wolves, there's no other option. Need to just take that 3 ball away from him.
This is wild. Genero, hey, courtside.
A hectic first half, DJ, down by 13. Now you're up, shooting terrifically. What can you say about the first half?
Second quarter, capitalized on defense, picked it up, made some shots, but that led to offense. Got to make some layups, and we'll be good.
Yeah, you were too close on that last one. You were 4 of 5 on the 3-point line and missed that layup.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It was a little slippery, I guess.
It is hot out there. It's a high-paced game. What can we expect from the second half?
Just going to stay solid, keep pushing, keep building.
Good luck for it.
Thank you.
That is an onslaught at the offensive end. 33 points to 14. The Taipans have gone from 13 down to 8 up at halftime at the Cairns Convention Centre. We have got a lot to talk about in the halftime show coming up next.
What I love about Kyle Adams, he's been written off his whole career, his whole life. Everybody's saying he's too small, but the heart of the man, how hard he works. He's always the first one in the gym, in every single practice. He's always the last one to leave. He's one of the best blokes you'll meet, both on and off the floor. Exceptional teammate, and got a lot more left in the tank.
For me, being, I guess, probably not the stereotypical basketballer, I think it's really cool to be able to show kids who maybe are a bit smaller that you can do it. There's always going to be opinions of you and how you do things. I hear that, but at the same time, I've always used it as motivation for me. I've always been the last person, even as a kid, going onto a basketball court that would be looked at as a professional basketball player. For me, whether it's a bit of deception or not, I love getting out there and proving a point. It was a tough process for me, for sure. There was definitely times where I really doubted myself. Was I big enough? Was I strong enough? Was I quick enough? I was hearing these things that I wasn't. I'm not going to just give up. You know, I want to keep fighting in a way, and I think that was instilled in me as a kid. I am proud of what I've been able to achieve.
Adnam pulls the trigger. They are on fire now.
Career high night for the Footlocker player of the game, Kyle Adnam.
What we've been able to do as a club, as a leadership group, coaching staff, everyone involved, it makes me proud to be a part of it. Obviously, the ultimate goal is to win one. You know how difficult that is. We really believe that we've got the structures and the building blocks to do that.
He's been fighting his entire career, Kyle Adnam, and even this season, Andrew Gaze, he's been fighting. He found his way out of the rotation after a great start to the season, but last 4 or 5 games, back in the rotation and playing some good basketball.
Yeah, he is, and he really does well. He's got a good basketball brain, and you can see with it in today's game in particular, he can score the ball. He's got a real scorer's mentality, and you know, I don't know whether he's ever going to be that one of those marquee guys, but when you talk about a club guy with great culture, great work ethic, I had the privilege of coaching Kyle a season with the Sydney Kings, and great guy to have on your group, so I'm glad to see him doing well.
Let's take a look at the Hungry Jacks highlights to half-time. It has been an incredible game from an offensive standpoint. The Taipans trailed by 11 points. That lead got out to 13 with the first bucket of the second quarter. And then Cairns took over, and they lead this game by 8 at the half.
Well, both these teams clearly come out here with the agenda of get shots up and get them up quick. Up-tempo style of play. Now, as I said during the call, the way it's unfolded, it's clearly working to the advantage of the Cairns Taipans. They got down, but they did not shy away from the way in which they play. They did not get gun-shy. They kept coming out, and why would you when you're shooting it like they are? Half their shots have come from the three-point line. They've made 10 of 18. And down the other end in that second quarter, the scoring dried up for Phoenix. Give some credit to the Cairns Taipans in their defence, but it was just a matter of the shots not falling and the white-hot Cairns down the other end. I'm not so sure that the Phoenix have got their strategy right. You look at the field goal percentages, and the offence is absolutely working for them. Rebounds started to even up a little bit, and the assists very similar. But to me, I think they got to find that balance of playing a little bit more half-court game and slowing that tempo down when you're on the road to a white-hot Cairns.
Pete Hall is at the analyser. Pete, you've taken a look at the defensive transition or lack thereof from the Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, it's astounding. Any other team you play against, you've got to get back in trans, but against Cairns, it becomes that much more important, as we'll get to it, as we will, right here. So this is a rebound from DJ Hogue. Ruben Trungy does the right thing. He comes in and slows the ball down from Tajir McCall. Everybody else has to understand you don't have a man. Your ideal matchup might not be there. So Ruben Trungy is going to slow down the ball. Everyone else is trying to run back. Now, you see here, Mitch Creek, Ryan Brockhoff, we call that the captain in defensive transition. They're trying to highlight to everybody else who's got who. Dane Pinot, the big fella, he gets confused because Mitch Creek's clearly talking on Foxwell to try and get him to guard Ben Eyre or Jonah Antonio, and he gets confused about this man right here. So you watch Dane Pinot, he's thinking, where's my player, where's Josh Davey, where's DJ Hogue? DJ Hogue steps into a three. That can't happen against the Cairns Taipans. And here's another one. This is off a made basket. What blows this up is that little punch screen right there. That punch screen puts a mismatch, the big fella on Shannon Scott. Now, right here, if you're on Foxwell, Sam Wardenberg can shoot, but he's not going to shoot from there. You've got to get back and take away the space because Shannon Scott is going to break down this play against Dane Pinot. And then who else? DJ Hogue, once again, just walks into another three because they haven't got matched up. They have the breakdown. You've got to find a player as soon as possible, as soon as Cairns get the ball. Otherwise, it's game over.
Beautiful work by the Professor. 57-49 at halftime at the Cairns Convention Centre. Don't go too far. You're watching Sunday Hoops. the best competitions in sport right now. This one, you can win $50,000 guaranteed money with thanks to Latrobe Financial. You can enter now at NBL.com.au. Here's just a little snapshot of some of the entries that we've seen. When are we going to see your entry, Pete Hawley?
Probably not.
What?
Unless I can kick it up there.
You can make that?
Well, I think you had a crack at it. Something half court last year, did you? Not too...
It's pretty solid.
Pretty solid, I remember. Back in the day, you and Coach used to always have a crack before training.
Of course. I'm a sort of a 1 in 5 type man, I reckon.
Oh, yeah.
20% about...
Okay.
Might push it out every now and again. I haven't had a crack for a while.
I feel like that's something we're going to film.
50. So that's how you get the 50, is it?
Enter now, and then you shoot for 50K, guaranteed money to give away. Southeast Melbourne Phoenix break away from their huddle. Drew, we were just talking off air that the willingness to play the way that Cairns wanted to play. How does Southeast Melbourne change that in the third quarter?
I think the best way to do it is to try and slow it down on the offensive end. Use the ball. Start to looking into shots in the last 8 seconds rather than the first 8 seconds. But just doing that and standing around, that's not going to get it done either. You need some continuity, move the defense, move the players around, and then get into that attack mode. Helps with your defensive transition too, because you're taking shots from where you're better positioned. Usually, not always.
Hope gets a second opportunity.
And the desperation. Like, I know it's come off the rim, and I guess you put that down to a lucky break, but they're not getting their fair share of those. They need to start showing that desperation, have bodies flying around, and really trying to crank up the intensity on those on the boards as well.
You highlighted early on that Cairns were struggling on the boards and giving up plenty of offensive rebounds themselves. They've flipped the script there.
Offensive rebound by Junior Madut. Really short. The hustle and the intent from the Taipans.
That's different, isn't it? You notice it, just that one possession. That rebounding contest. Just seemed to be a little bit more fire in the belly of the Cairns Taipans.
We've lost 3 in a row, Southeast Melbourne. It's the wrong time of the year to be on a losing streak. Williams tips it in.
And you can see the way Bull Quell was defending that. He was trying to send Mitch Creek baseline to the double team, but DJ Hogue looked like he was caught in 2 minds whether to go or not, and basically allowed Mitch Creek to split what was supposed to be a double team, and Alan Williams was there to clean it up, which he's going to do right now. He's got 3 offensive rebounds, 10 points with just simple putbacks.
Number 2 in the competition for rebounds, Alan Williams. Hogue couldn't finish that time. Creek on the march with 18 points. Feeds Williams down low, and he finishes off. He's got 12 of his own.
Gee, that's a big wide target. Hard to get around. You saw Hogue trying to get around him to deny that pass, but good positioning and good find by Creek.
Back within 6. It's been a good start to the third quarter for the Phoenix. And we'll slow the Taipans down a little.
Oh, my. Oh.
Gannon Scott, all the moves.
Oh, showing some candy. Gannon Scott, he's been a bit more aggressive tonight. 10 points. He's got 6 dimes as well with 0 turnovers.
Good with a foot inside the line. His first field goal of the game. See how quickly Cairns, particularly with Tajima Call, they want to get the ball up the other end.
That's going to be a goal team. Now that's... So that's the one...
It's hard if it's below the rim.
It is. It's a good call.
It's a great call.
It's actually on the rim.
So they asked, Mitch Creek asked if we could challenge it now. This was one, see the ball still in the rim, you cannot do that. And this is the one they missed yesterday down in Tasmania, where Will Magnay did that. They missed that yesterday. And that's exactly right. If the ball is still basically in the cylinder, you can't scoop it out.
Well, once it hits the rim and it bounces up, it's live. But when it's on, when it's below, see how you saw part of the ball actually below the rim.
Great explanation and then great shots to back it up too. It's a crystal clear at home.
It's a great rule. I love the fact that you can hit it off or hit it once it bounces on the rim. It's something I reckon the NBA need to introduce. A lot of the NBA guys that play in the FIBA competition really like it as well.
Williams taking on 3 Taipans. Not that time.
He won his time back there. There's another one. Another easy 2 points. Got begging. Got 4 offensive rebounds.
He's too deep. Williams is too deep on that on ball. And he walks in to a free throw, Scott, I think it was on that occasion. Williams is going to get called for the sling here, I think.
115. Push. And that'll be his 3rd. They've been carefully managing him today to try and keep him out of foul trouble.
Simon Mitchell is, I mean, he is begging Simon Mitchell to stay in the game, but Simon Mitchell's going to take him out.
He can't add it. It's just unnecessary.
Well, he wasn't happy with it.
It was clearly just through. I think it was Wardenberg down low. Just threw him out the way.
Call inside for Wardenberg. Smith-Milner just smothered him. Engulfed him. Junior Ledoux steps out of bounds.
Great block. It's always Smith-Milner.
How far off did he shoot it? How far off did he shoot it off with balls, mate?
It was more of a delay on figuring out whether it was the delay of the game than there was for the delay of game.
10-point lead of the home team. 5-4 on their home floor this season. Let a couple slip here. The way they're playing, they're not letting this one slip.
I'll tell you what, the Taipans look like a completely different team when Shannon Scott is looking aggressive to score. I mean, Tajima McCall's got 18 points, 6 of 7 from the field. Logan Scott, so all 3 imports are filling it up. When he's in this kind of mindset, he seems to really just tick things over.
Brockhoff short. Pass from Creek and finish from Brockhoff. Scott kicks it out from McCall. 10 on the shot clock. Not often you see the Taipans this late and they haven't got something up. Smith-Milner gets another one.
Well, I think Paul Cole was going to try and pass a bit. 2 good help side plays from Tory Smith-Milner now. Pass across to Shannon Scott, and in the end, Smith-Milner might have saved him because what he wanted to do was wrap around and hit Shannon Scott of the Chemist Warehouse logo. The problem was he'd started a cut and they could have ended up in row 4.
Nice hands from Foxwell.
Yeah, I think they're going to challenge this.
Scott suggested that
Timeout orange
to Adam Ford that it should be reviewed.
Well, it looked like on Foxwell just slapped it out of bounds.
Did.
I think that's why Shannon Scott was so quick on it. He was 100% certain they were going to get the ball back. And
so reviewing the out of bounds.
Yeah, I think
each coach has one challenge available. If successful, you retain your challenge. If unsuccessful, you lose it.
here we see it. There's the hand, and it's clearly going to go back to the Cairns Taipans. Foxwell hits it with his left hand there.
Shannon Scott's actually hands aren't even
Not even
around
near
there.
it.
Yeah.
Coach's challenge is unsuccessful. The corner floor is confirmed. White ball.
Did we not see that? Maybe we must have missed something.
Yes, there are some additional angles. We might touch base with Scott Butler shortly to get an explanation if one is available.
Is that? Must not have been Foxwell's hand in there, maybe. I don't know. It looked pretty clear. I just cannot believe that.
And Ford back coaching today. Missed their game on Thursday due to illness. The more reports has got limited voice. Good to see him back all the same. 68-57. Brockhoff Gave up his look and might have got away with a travel.
I think that's why he gave it up, because he fumbled it a little bit and his feet weren't right, because that was wide open for Ryan Brockhoff to tee off.
7th turnover of the game for the visitors. Ball Qual with a hand in the face. Doesn't stick. Foxwell, and he's back to the rebound.
That's always going to be an easy call. Anytime you try and box out as a face guard,
you've got to turn your back on him. You've got to put your foot in, pivot, keep him on the back, and you're just going to face guard him like he tried to do.
7 on the clock. Ben Air, we haven't seen a lot of him. It's a good look for 3. It's good. First bucket of the game.
It's just really high-level three-point shooting by the Taipans. 12 of 23 at 52%.
great cut. That is great off-ball movement from Brockhoff. They're running a couple of sets for him to try and get open to shoot the 3. The best part about it is he's not standing still after the fact. Continues to move. It's a good pass.
Enhanced from Smith-Milner. He's played a nice role in this third quarter.
3 really good efforts on the defensive end.
It flies away.
I'm with you, Drewy. Mitch Creek, we know, can shoot that rock and can take those big moment shots, but it does play right into the hands of the way Cairns like to play.
Five of 16 from outside the Phoenix. Brockhoff hard, blocked by Hogue.
A bit of commentary as well from DJ Hogue. Well, he's not shy, Ben Air.
It's good. Timeout, Southeast Melbourne. Cairns are a juggernaut when they get rolling. Here it is on the Amy replay.
This is it. First up, just a little pop action after the handoff. And wide open, relatively wide open. And then, of course, coming down that last one in transition yet again. Spotting up and knocking it down.
3 minutes and 8 seconds left. If you have just joined us, Cairns were down 13 at the start of the second quarter. They won the second term 33-14, and now they are 15 points up on the Phoenix.
They have that ability to flip the switch, and that's what I spoke about with the playing tournament. So, not in the same language as Simon Mitchell, but you hear him saying declare the ball, and that's what he's talking about. I mentioned at halftime with defensive transition. So you're never going to have your ideal matchup, and the idea is if you get somebody to initially declare the ball, then everybody else behind has to figure out who's got who as quickly as possible, so that otherwise if you don't do that and you're playing against the Cairns Taipans, it's quick pass, and it might even be a contested 3, but they're going to take it, and in this game right now, they're going to make it.
There are the quarter-by-quarter breakdowns. You can see Cairns, once they clicked into gear offensively, well, they've given Southeast Melbourne all sorts of problems.
And there's 2 parts of those problems, and declaring the ball, yes, that's clearly very, very important. But the other thing is the level of desperation and urgency to just get back and be scrambling and pointing, and there's just all 5 players are out there with a clear purpose. It's sort of almost there, but not quite.
This is great team defense.
Deng with the steal, no foul, he plays through it.
This game's blown wide open as Aaron Williams getting ready to check back in. It's defense leading to offense. We speak about how elite and how fun it is to watch Cairns when they're up and about offensively, but we forget that defensively, when they turn it on, they're the best in the league.
When they've got their tails up, Cairns, they're playing with confidence.
So DJ Hogue, did you recall, Ball Qual all sitting down. And Joe Antonio says, I want to join the party.
Jimmy Leduc brings the ball up the floor and quickly gets to the other end. No foul, no score.
Contact there, but again, he's playing into their hands because Cairns come down the other end, and Antonio misses 2 though.
Phoenix without two of their best today. But Cairns are without their best. We'll hear from him very shortly. Dean reels that in.
It's incredible to watch.
We've got Keanu Pinder there with Genero. Hey, we just need a whistle.
Well, you're not going to get one with just the shot selection from the Taipans. They've just taken 3 threes and Phoenix are just... Phoenix are going to try and respond the exact same way they're going.
Oh, bugger it. Let's go to Jenna now. She's with Keanu Pinder.
I'm down here with superstar Keanu Pinder. How hard is it to watch your team play while you're on the sideline?
Honestly, hasn't been as hard as I thought it would be. The guys are killing it right now, as you can see. But super proud of these guys. They're bringing energy every game and just playing the way they should.
And can you talk about how all these guys have stepped up in your absence?
Oh, no, they've been doing a great job. They've just been playing confidently, and I love it, you know. Love to see these guys go out there and do their thing.
And the million-dollar question that we all want to know the answer to, when can we expect you back on the floor?
Hopefully by the end of this week. We'll see how I pull up after the training on Tuesday, but yeah, going to go from there.
We can't wait to see you back in the court. Good luck.
Nicely done. 3-0 without Keanu Pinder, Cairns.
Well,
fouls on Wardenberg.
And we know the way they want to play all season, and we're seeing, but this is the extreme version of how they want to play. And when he comes back in, they get more into their middle on balls, they get him more involved, and it's not quite as frenetic as it is here today when he's been in there. Now, that might just be this particular game, but it's and maybe not necessarily, and that's not an indictment on him, by the way, because he's shown right throughout the course of the season they should be doing that.
There's a couple of layups down for the Phoenix that it's a good look. Ruben Tarangi just faking the handoff, getting downhill, and Shannon Scott takes a quick long two. There's no such thing as a bad shot in this Cairns Taipans game style.
Phoenix, meanwhile, have only scored 10 points in this third quarter. That changes through Creek. Takes them back to 14. Edmund picks up his third. 11 seconds before three-quarter time with thanks to MG. You can win one of those. NBL.com.au/winMG. Did you like yours?
Love it. I highly recommend everyone jumping on the NBL website and having a crack because it's a delight. Most affordable electric car on the market, if you don't mind. And Steve, just plug it in. There you go. It's magnificent. Lights.
Hogue steps back. Cairns well and truly in control of this game. 76-62, they lead it on their home floor. You're watching Sunday Hoops in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Watching Sunday Hoops in the Hungry Jacks NBL, and what you are watching is a Cairns Taipans team full of confidence, full of offensive threats, and they are firing on all cylinders. They lead this one by 14.
And on the flip side of that, you've got a team like Southeast Melbourne Phoenix who came out on fire. 35 points in the first quarter, but then being restricted to 14 in the second and only 13 in the third. Dramatic turnaround in their offensive output.
Look at the numbers. They've got 11 offensive rebounds, so that's extra opportunities. They've taken 2 more field goals than the Taipans as Alan Williams back into the game, and that is how he's got every bucket of his so far tonight, just beasting down low.
You're going to need everything to go right in the last quarter, Southeast Melbourne. Only 3 points from Mitch Creek in that third term too. Cairns did a good job of keeping him quiet.
Pass. Really good finish. It was like that almost looked like, you know, in practice we say we want to go through our sets. Let's just go through 60, 70%. It was just so accommodating.
It's like DJ Ho plays. He's just close to it, but he's so crafty. He's got 7 assists himself. So between him and Shannon Scott, 13 assists and 1 turnover.
This is from underneath. Wilcox's pass was broken down, but steady hands of Kyle Adnam. Now Creek inside.
Hold him down and jump over his back. Like 15.
And another one on Alan Williams. That will be 4 now.
So he's saying you can't hold him down as you try to take off right there.
The left arm. There's a whole lot in it, but there was that contact.
It was the action.
Yeah.
More so than I think the
effectiveness of it.
Well, I'll take that. Well played.
Jenna O'Hay courtside.
Yeah, I was in the Phoenix huddle at 3/4 time, and Simon's message was not to panic. Slowly chip away. They really wanted to get 3 stops in a row on defense, which hasn't happened to start this quarter. And then on the offensive end, just to get it through sides, they want to slow it down. They feel like they're playing at the Taipans pace and not the Phoenix pace, and that's not going to be. So Simon's not going to be thrilled with that.
Well, it's something that Drew's been hot on this entire game, and it's hard because you're going to get those opportunities to play fast down the other way, and because of the way that Cairns play, when they're missing those shots quickly, it's a long rebound yourself, and we've seen it. Junior Madut's got out on the break, and you're thinking, okay, this is a fast break opportunity. But when you're playing against Cairns, that's almost a trap where you want to say, okay, I've got a 2-on-1, maybe a 3-on-2, but this is what Cairns want us to do in this trap. I'm just going to slow it down and let's get a set. Let's try and get Mitch Creek on the block. Let's try and get Alan Williams deep.
Well, that's right, and if you... It's an offensive foul. I think it might have been a push off to try and get the ball. You still want to be able to attack, so you still want to go for your transition. We take a look at a replay here.
I don't know where this is going.
There's a hole. Oh, my God.
As soon as I saw, I just had a feeling.
You did call it early, didn't you? Sam Warrenberg listen for a second. The ball back. Jenna mentioned that they're looking for 3 stops in a row. They just take 2 at the moment. Call guarded by Foxwell.
Oh, and what?
Spins inside and draws contact on the arm.
Oh, it's going to be hard for Foxwell against the taller McCall. And like you mentioned, he loves that spin move. When you know that, and that would have been in the scouting report, just don't allow him to spin. Just keep him going one way. If he spins back, he's got to hit you between the chest. And sure, if you're going to do that, you've got to rely on some help in the way in which you're going to send him when you've got a mismatch like that.
5 of 5 from the line now to Jim McCall. 19 points, 4 assists. 3 players tonight for Cairns have all their assists. McCall's got 4, and the rest 13 split between Hogue and Scott. And Shannon Scott just quietly 17 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 0 turnovers.
It's been interesting to see the way since Tajir McCall returned from injury, week for 2, there were some questions about whether Scott and McCall could play together and how it would gel. I certainly know Leonard Copeland wanted to see more of Shannon Scott. It looked like it's working pretty well now, Pete.
Well, it is. And again, it's going to be another one of those juggling acts Adam Ford when Pinder does come back. Who do you bring off the bench? Because DJ Hoag's looked pretty good in the power forward spot, but he's also looked good on the wing. Sam Wardenberg's done nothing wrong, and Tajir McCall, when they were at full strength, was coming off the bench and providing a nice little spark. So a little bit of a juggling act to occur next week, if that is when we see Keanu Pinder again.
Good problem to have if you're Adam Ford. Clock for Hoag. The last touch by Cairns. Through the fingertips of Josh Davey.
They're hanging around. This is the night. These next 3 minutes decides whether it's going to be a ball game. They've got to really focus in, continue to get those stops, and somehow or other find a way to get that scoreboard ticking over, which has been hard, really hard in the second and third period. Good. See, now that to me is not a great shot in the context of where they're at and who you've got to identify at certain moments in the context of the game.
1 of 6 this afternoon. McCall again draws contact.
Done that a few times in this game. Put Junior Good down on the block with Tajir McCall. He likes to post up against anyone, Tajir McCall, and he was straight up afterwards, but you just saw him trying to reach a little bit, and as Tajir McCall was really smart, just kind of ripped through, went into his shot.
And thanks to Hungry Jacks, you can whopper your way to LA. This is easy. You could do this on the way home, Drew. Grab a large burger meal at Hungry Jacks, enter the receipt code, and you can win 4 tickets, flights, spending money, accommodation, plus see a game in the States.
Delicious little flame grilled whopper. Lovely. Minus the pickles. Lovely.
You're hungry, actually.
I'm with you. I'm not a pickle fan.
You leave the pickles out. Scott wrestles it away from a tired Mitch Creek. Ooh. A little wild from McCall, who owned it straight away.
And it's just a little bit early for the razzle-dazzle. And here we see Creek just, what's he hurt? Something, he's holding his head.
Poking the eye, it looks like he's sub out.
Nasty. And a really tough time to be subbed out. They desperately need his offense.
Tisovic checks back in. Rockoff, nice pass for Foxwell. That counts. The trail by 13.
35 rebounds for 28. And they've had 14 in the offensive end.
2 real loose possessions now for McCall. And this has been a bit of a question mark about him in those big moments. Now, he's got a lot of pluses to his credit across the checks and balances of the entire game, but in the crisis and how in which he can get a little loose with it.
Here's Brockoff at the top of the key. Can't get that to go. Loose ball falls to Williams. He defers back out to Foxwell, who drains another deep one.
Big time hit, but Alan Williams, the presence of mind not to try and force up that extra opportunity, huge.
Phoenix are within 10. You're watching Sunday Hoops. Well, well, well. 5:23 remaining. You did mention that it's a big couple of minutes coming up.
And McCall, you got that 16-point buffer, and it's almost like, well, we get a bit of time for a bit of razzle-dazzle here, and it can really come back to bite you. And they've still got a nice little buffer, 10-point lead in the context of this one. But when momentum switches, it's hard sometimes to get it back.
You've got to know who you're razzle-dazzling with. Young fella Josh Davey, you haven't seen a whole lot of him this season. He wants to razzle-dazzle. Well, I don't think Josh Davies expecting the razzle-dazzle.
And then the next time down, just trying to penetrate and get to the basket loose with the ball. Another turnover. And all of a sudden, Phoenix feels like they're in this ball game to have a chance.
Don't go too far just yet on Sunday Hoops. Southeast Melbourne are back within 10, and well, what a player this man was in the competition. Mark Worthington, 4-time All-NBL first team, Rookie of the Year, championship winner. Just an out-and-out star. Olympian, of course, as well.
So, still no Mitch Creek. Back in after getting poked in the eye. That's a really nice set out of the timeout. Actually gone off the bench as well.
Let's get down to Jenna O'Hea, who's courtside.
Yeah, I was just in 40s timeout, and it was all about not playing conservatively. We know that the Taipans are really good from playing behind, but how are they keeping the lead? So it was all about not giving Phoenix life through O-boards and to keep playing hard. That's what got them the lead in the first place.
They're back on the free throw line here.
Well, it's really for the Taipans. It's been that philosophy all season long. Live and die by the style of play. And it's interesting, so Adam Ford, he took this philosophy from Jim Boeheim in Syracuse, where their iconic 2-3 zone, when teams had so much success against it, instead of just saying, look, let's bail out, and he's talking about his style of play, which is not obviously a zone, but playing really fast. Instead of bailing them out, they say, let's just go even faster, and let's go even harder, and that's the way they continue to play, and good things happen.
Mitch Creek's still not out there, out of the timeout. Brokoff takes the Phoenix within 8.
Foxwell making the play. That was another great feed from the youngster.
Less than 5 minutes remaining. Cairns just a little ropey at the offensive end. Have thrown a couple away. A couple of wild possessions and now an offensive foul.
Well, this is the man's hands the ball needs to be in right now, Shannon Scott. 0 turnovers on the night, 7 assists, 17 points, but just let him make the decisions. So, have another look here. Ever so slightly moving to your right, but right in front of the official, it's an easy call.
They were down 16, Southeast Melbourne. They've scored the last 8.
Oh, what a play.
Brokoff. No good. Offensive rebound by Williams. Had it, lost it. Cairns win it back. Scott over the top of Anticevic. They needed that.
Well, they did. They just seem to go a little bit tentative. The pace of play went down a notch or two from how they'd been playing and started to think about it. Here's the Amory replay in transition. Scott goes up against a bigger Anticevic and just kisses off the glass very nicely.
Let's get down to Jenna O'Hea. We're not seeing Mitch Creek at the moment, Jenna.
We are not. He got a poke in the eye, so they're just assessing him at the moment. They're hoping to get him back in, but he's looking pretty ginger down here on the sidelines.
Brokoff scores there. Keeps this thing interesting. It's 8 the difference. We tick down to 3 minutes remaining. Foxwell, good hands.
Foxwell, terrific.
He's come on and done some really good things.
And that might be Alan Williams' 5th foul. It's not called on to Jim McCall, which it is. So it is called on to Jim McCall. Oh, Foxwell, great hands.
Foxwell's been huge. Knocked down a couple of threes, a very nice assist. This one here, the block, and then we have a look at the foul. If anything, I think that almost falls into the nothing to see here category.
Yeah, I'm with you. Wouldn't. That's probably a no call for mine.
Alan Williams looked like a bulldozer then. He just came through and just took out anyone in an orange jersey that was in his way.
But this is what happens. So they've been out without Mitch Creek. Obviously, they're the heart and soul of their team and how good he's been this season. But everybody else realising they have to step up, and everyone else gets that confidence of like, okay, we need to now step up and deliver because we don't have Creek out there. Owen Foxwell taking a bit more ownership on himself. Ryan Brokoff getting more involved. It's a bit like how we're seeing Cairns without Keanu Pinder. Everybody gets that little bit extra confidence because you have no other choice.
He's not even sitting on the bench right now, Mitch Creek. So 3:33 still a long time to go, but it's... I think it's unlikely that we might see Mitch Creek again today.
Right, guys, here we go.
Foxwell taking his opportunities. Ryan Brockhoff stepping up late. Phoenix is still in the game. Seven on the clock. Madut inside for Williams.
Beautifully executed. They're switching absolutely everything, the Cairns Taipans, and can find yourself with some not ideal matchups. A little on ball, you don't go underneath on the switch and get the easy two.
A 14-4 run here for the Phoenix.
That's too easy. That's a great take from DJ Hogue. The recognition, you've got a mismatch, but also Alan Williams has 4 fouls, so he's not going to try and do anything crazy because they need him on the floor right now with no Mitch Creek.
Yeah, almost came up with a steal, and then Foxwell threw it to where Junior Madut was. Southeast Melbourne call a timeout. A missed opportunity. They need everything to go right from here. 2 minutes and 36 seconds remaining.
Foxwell just talking to Junior Madut, saying just stay in the corner. Got the extra pass, but probably not a bad read from Junior Madut. Looked like he would have had a layup otherwise. You're right, Joey. They've just been hanging around. Still plenty of time left on the clock. This time out here, maybe trying to get a couple of extra seconds and see if Creek can come out and finish the game. He's in the players' race behind the screen.
One of the worst things you can do, have to deal with, the injuries you have to deal with when you get that eye injury. It is excruciating.
And we saw what it did to Tom Abercrombie at the start of the season for New Zealand. He missed the first 8 rounds, wasn't able to fly because of the serious nature of the eye injury as well.
A few years ago over in New Zealand, big time eye injury, and happened twice. He fell out.
Yeah. It's a setback. This is not a setback though for every dunk in the month of January. We've had a few today on Sunday Hoops. $500 with thanks to Sportsbet. We'll go to Australian Prostate Cancer. At the start of the day, we'd already raised $20,000 and we're only 8 days into January.
Magnificent.
Almost a sellout today at the Cairns Convention Centre. The natives have flocked to watch their team play, and with good reason. One clean possession here might just be enough for them to ward off the visitors. Here's Mitch Creek. Coming back is Air for 2.
Big time hit from Ben Air.
It is, and when a big time play, big time moment, he wasn't the one you'd expect to finish with, but still good enough to knock it down.
Creek back on the bench. It's whether we see him again, though. Some aggression from Junior Madut. And Hogue blocks the shot. Loose ball. Last touch, Southeast Melbourne.
DJ Hogue, I don't know if we're talking enough about how elite he is on the defensive end. Look at that timing. And, well, judging on that reaction from Keanu Pinder, he's closer to returning than we think.
Yeah, very excited on the sidelines. Ankle looks pretty good.
Oh, and he's hurt himself a bit. He's just like, hang on. Supposed to have a bad ankle.
They're having a look at the out of bounds here.
Just to make certain of it. You mentioned his work at the defensive end. Top 5 in the competition for blocks, DJ Hogue. We've talked so much about his ability to shoot and what he can do at that end. He's super sound defensively.
Well, he does it like that because he reads the play so well. He's not necessarily that explosive athleticism. He's got good size, good reach, and that time just timed it really well.
Judging from those pictures, we won't be seeing Mitch Creek again.
Replay today. Can we review the substitute?
Earlier today, the New Zealand Breakers winners by 2 points over Adelaide, which sets up next Sunday Cairns and New Zealand at Spark Arena. Cairns have got a game on Friday against Illawarra first, but well, that is a monster next Sunday in New Zealand. Taipans happy to wind the clock down here. Call running out of options, and Cairns ran out of time.
Great defensive possession when they needed it the most.
Not the worst result. They use up all 24, and the clock is their friend at this point in time with a 10-point lead.
Phoenix will have a week after today. They'll play next Monday at the State Basketball Centre. Right in the heartland, they'll host the Brisbane Bullets. Take from Brockhoff.
Well, a lot of people thinking, well, where's this aggression from Ryan Brockhoff on a usual basis? Well, yes, he can shoot the three ball, but his ability to keep moving off the ball, that's what's made him up to 14 points right now. He's 0 of 7 from 3, so he has struggled in that regard, but still found a way to impact the game.
Double-header to start round 15 on Tuesday. Illawarra and Tasmania first, and Perth and New Zealand straight after that. Phoenix need buckets quick.
That's it. It took too long all game. They've been pretty quick at letting it fly. And that time there took a lot of time off the shot clock. Carl Adam caught one in the nose. And right now, if you're the Phoenix, you're looking at a three ball. A play to try and free up someone and knock down a three ball. Pressure in the backcourt, and then trying to get some turnovers.
Simon Mitchell calls a timeout.
Thank you.
Ford just asking for a bit of clarification. If they can bank this win, that takes them to 14-7 on the season. And you would, well, they're there, aren't they? Really, they're there.
Catastrophe in order for that not to happen.
Well, the way the other results are panning out, we don't know what the magic number is.
I reckon 6. I think I'm almost prepared to bump it up a little bit. I
thought going into this round of 15 was going to get you there, but
I think it might be 16 now.
To be assured, I think you're going to need it. Otherwise, I think you're going to rely on percentages and other factors. For a while there, I thought 14 might get you in.
And then some other results. I mean, Melbourne winning yesterday keeps them alive. It puts Tasmania on the bump a little bit now as well.
Melbourne playing one of the form teams of the competition right now. That injury to Isaac Humphries, that might make the challenge, well, it will make the challenge a little bit more tougher if he has to miss a few games.
And then Perth losing as well, that hurts the Wildcats in a big way.
They've got a really tough stretch. Wildcats finish off the season, but so does every team. You mentioned there's no easy games. Because everyone right now, wasn't always the case without a playing tournament. Every game is so important, so everyone's got something to play for.
You keep using the term playing tournament. They are playoff games, aren't they? They will go down as playoff games.
Yeah, correct. But in terms of the top 6 is what I'm saying, rather than just the top 4. Normally a team, if you're just chasing maybe it's second or third, or you get to the last couple of games and you're already cemented into where you are, and you're like, okay, well, this game doesn't mean as much as normal.
No, it's beautiful. It's a perfect year to have a top 6. It's keeping the season well and truly alive for many teams.
Top what?
Top 6.
Take their position inside the top 3 with a win here.
Oh, wow. Exactly what they needed.
0 of 7 before that. I love that from Simon Mitchell. It doesn't matter. He's the elite shooter on the team. You run another set for him.
Only 17 points, Ryan Brockoff, but 1 of 8 from outside today. That's his first make from deep for the game. Now what?
Now the second part of the equation is get some stops. Backcourt pressure, get a turnover, and then we've got game on.
Foxwell almost knocked it away from Ben Air. Cairns advanced beyond halfway successfully. Adam fouls Air, who's a 75% free throw shooter.
Been there tonight. The big free throws coming up. Loves the moment, does Ben Air.
If we can't get it.
The breakdowns quarter by quarter.
It's been a good fight by the Phoenix. It looked like there that just started to question their passion and whether or not they were up for the challenge, and they've come out really strong in this last quarter.
They were down 16 when the score was 84-68. They were gone.
They've done a good job of restricting Cairns. They've only got the 14 points in this over 16 now, but slowed their scoring down.
You've got to go fast, Southeast Melbourne. Walkoff got the 3 away, that won't count. Wattenberg snuck ahead, blocked by Brockoff. McCall takes care of the rest. Start the car.
I didn't say die the Phoenix, but Cairns, the job done.
4 wins in a row for the Taipans without their MVP candidate, Keanu Pinder. There's no question about it. The Taipans are legit. They win 94-85.
Well, they play an exciting brand of basketball. They get up and down, can be a little bit hit or miss from time to time, but this year there's been more hit than miss, and our footlocker player of the game, Shannon Scott, just went about his business in a meticulous way. 19.6 rebounds and 7 assists, and just ran the team nicely in the point guard position, found people in transition, and another really solid home win against the Phoenix.
14-7 on the season now, Cairns. They're going to be there when the whips are cracking at the very back end of the season. They win. We're back to wrap it up next on Sunday Hoops. Taipans win it on Sunday Hoops, 94-85. They had a double-figure lead midway through the fourth quarter. The Phoenix did a good job to make a game of it, but they fell 9 points short in the end.
Well, they did. They battled hard. Mitch Creek, unfortunately, with that eye injury, missed a fair chunk of that last quarter, which didn't help their cause. He ended up with 25 points. But the way in which they had so many contributors to Cairns Taipans, they got 5 players in double figures, and they share the ball around. And sometimes when you're playing that quick offense, that you can go through periods where you don't see it enough, but all their guys seem to get enough touches and get their shots, and it's a fun way to play when the ball's going through the hoop, and it certainly did this afternoon. 13-29, their three-pointers started to taper a little bit towards the end, but overall, it was 50% from the field. Anytime you're shooting 50% from the field, you're going to give yourself a good chance of putting up a number that's going to be hard for other teams to beat.
They're well and truly entrenched inside the top 3 now, the Cairns Taipans, no doubt about that. 14th win of the season. They walk away today 94-85 on behalf of Andrew Gaze, Jenna O'Hay, Pete Hooley, and our team behind the scenes who, as always, just dominate. They are so good. Thanks for being with us on Sunday Hoops. We'll catch you on Tuesday for the beginning of round 15.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
Hello everybody and welcome. It's the crossover times NBL overtime times. What a hell of a weekend. A week really that all just goes into one. It's what this time of the year does, but as NBL hoops each and every day, it was the New Zealand Breakers who have had a real rough 2.5 years, but are right now a championship contender in this NBL season. And the Cairns Taipans we did just see continuing to make their push towards finishing in the top 2. Cam Luke, Peter Hooley, Damon Lowry, boys. Decent weekend, decent day, as per in NBL23.
Oh, it's really exciting. I mean, every game is so important. I'm honoured to sit here. Quick shout out to Liam's daughter's her birthday. Happy birthday, because I've replaced Liam on this fine day of hoops.
I see that. How you doing, man?
Well, I thought she was going to sing happy birthday.
No, you heard me sing in the rehearsal.
I thought you were going to find out her name at least.
We're going to leave that one out. We're going to leave that one out.
Hey, we're going to get to what's all been happening. But let's start with our man DJ Ho, because he was outstanding. And his Cairns Taipans team continue to roll. DJ, thanks for joining us. I want to ask you, what's it like playing in that stadium? We know when you get winning, when the Taipans traditionally get rolling like you are right now, the whole community gets behind them. I'm assuming it's no different.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's great. This is one of the best places to play and one of the best places I've been in. My teammates throwing towels. We're a fun group. But now the crowd's backing us, playing great, and loving it.
Hey, lots been made of it. Keanu Pinder, of course, having an MVP caliber season. He's out with injuries. But it must give you so much of confidence in the depth of this group. For Adam Ford to say, here you go, 9, 10, 11 deep, and continue to win games. That's 4 in a week.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We can't wait to get Keanu back, but we're going to hold it down until he does. He's a big piece for us, but we are a deep team, and we play well with or without him, but we will need him for playoffs.
Now, DJ, you mentioned that it's a fun place to play. It's a fun group. You've been around and you've played some nice places across your career. Have you ever been a part of a game style as fun as what Adam Ford has implemented with this young group? How fast you play? I don't think it's possible to actually take a bad shot, but is it the funnest place you played in?
Definitely. I love the way he just gives us freedom, lets us play, but at the same time wants us to play together. I would say we play on pace with the G League, but as far as coaching, Adam Ford, he's up there with the best.
DJ Damon, man, welcome down under, man. We both from the Midwest. You from Ohio, I'm from Michigan. How you liking the tropics? How's that humidity really treating you?
I was just born in Ohio. I'm really from Texas, but I was